The Stoic path. Falling, rising, and owning your life. Falling down. Failing, it isn't just part of life. It is life. To the Stoic mind, setbacks are not enemies. They are the training ground for the soul. Every fall you take is a chance to rise, to test your strength, and to practice resilience. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, once reminded us that it's not what happens to us that defines us, but how we respond. That response, getting up every day no matter what, that is living. Brother, nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not society, not the world. The Stoics would tell you, stop waiting for external saviors. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The life you want is waiting, but only if you are strong enough, courageous enough, and disciplined enough to take full responsibility for creating it. So get to work. Stop waiting for divine intervention. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing doesn't exist." Rule number 6 of the Stoic playbook is this: luck favors the prepared and the disciplined. The myth of luck and the Stoic view. Sure, randomness exists. Fortune, or Tyche as the Stoics called it, rolls the dice for everyone. A storm can sink your ship, a plague can strike your city, or betrayal can ruin your plans. But the Stoics didn't believe in some mystical force conspiring against you. They believed in preparation. Seneca wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." If you wait for a 4-leaf clover to magically appear in your path, you will live in frustration. If you build yourself, your mind, body, and character, then, when chance comes knocking, you will be ready to seize it. Here's how to build your own luck the Stoic way. 1. Stay receptive to life's opportunities. Opportunities don't always arrive dressed as golden chances. Sometimes they arrive as setbacks. Sometimes they arrive as unexpected work, new challenges, or people who test your patience. A Stoic must keep their eyes open. Life is constantly presenting you with situations where you can practice courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Epictetus taught, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." Every difficulty is a doorway, but only the receptive soul, the one awake to the moment, will see it. 2. Starve distractions, feed focus. In a world of endless noise, Stoics would advise us to cut away what doesn't matter. They didn't scroll endlessly. They didn't waste themselves chasing trivialities. They focused on what they could control: their virtue, their character, their contribution. Ask yourself, what if you cut just 1 hour of distraction a day? What if you invested that hour into reading, training, writing, or reflecting? Slowly you would separate yourself from the herd. You would be building, not consuming. 3. Stay ready. The discipline of preparation. A Stoic trains daily, not for applause, but for readiness. Train your body. Exercise, eat well, and rest. Train your mind. Read philosophy. Write your thoughts. Examine your judgments. Train your speech. Learn to communicate with clarity and strength. Musonius Rufus, the Roman Stoic, taught that philosophy was not for talking, but for living. Training hard in silence prepares you for the day life calls your name. Build yourself now, so when fortune turns, you are not caught unready. 4. Stay resilient. Accept and endure. The Stoic doesn't expect life to start perfectly. They know it won't, but they also know that with effort, persistence, and the refusal to quit, everything can end. Well, no quit, all commit. That's not just modern motivation, it's Stoic practice. When Marcus Aurelius was weary of the struggles of ruling an empire, he told himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. Your circumstances may not be fair. Your challenges may be great. But giving up? That is the only real defeat." The 2 types of courage. Stoicism teaches that courage is not one thing, it is twofold. To live well, you must master both. 1. The courage to begin. This is the courage to start even when there are no guarantees. If you wait for every obstacle to be removed, you will never begin. The Stoics knew this. They embraced uncertainty. They said, leap, and the net will appear. 2. The courage to endure. Starting is easy compared to enduring. Endurance is where greatness is forged. It is deciding in advance that no matter what comes, failure, rejection, loss, you will not quit. Marcus Aurelius endured betrayal, sickness, and endless wars. Yet he never surrendered his principles. He persisted. Both forms of courage must live in you if you wish to rise. Beginning without endurance will make you burn out. Endurance without beginning will keep you stagnant. Together, they create the unstoppable soul. The gift of hardship. Life is hard, but Stoicism reframes hardship as a gift. Struggle is not punishment, it is the forge of your soul. If you avoid desperation, if you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. Desperation, properly channeled, is powerful. It forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. The Stoics welcomed the fire of hardship, for they knew it would burn away weakness and reveal strength. As Seneca wrote, fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave. Falling, rising, becoming. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's the solid ground upon which you can build. The Stoic knows that when everything is stripped away, clarity comes. You see who you really are, and you see what must change. To change is to live into a higher vision. To stop being driven by impulse, and instead be guided by intention. Many live as slaves to reaction, tossed around by external events. But the Stoic chooses how to act, how to think, how to live. You may not control your impulses, but you can master your response. That is the essence of Stoicism. Your role in this life, brother, you were not given dreams without the seeds of their fulfillment inside you. Everything you have been through has prepared you for this moment, stronger, wiser, better. If you refuse to quit, you cannot lose. Failure, rejection, pain, they are temporary. Giving up is forever. Do not shrink yourself to fit into environments where people cannot see your value. Do not waste your heartbeats with those who do not appreciate them. Every heartbeat is one less. Spend them wisely. So here is the Stoic truth. Life will not be easy. No one is coming to save you. Fortune will not hand you miracles. But you have enough within you, courage to begin, courage to endure, strength to rise, and wisdom to create your own luck. This is the Stoic way. Accept reality. Take responsibility. Practice discipline. Embrace hardship. Endure, rise. And as Marcus Aurelius would say, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stoic mastery. Building mental fortitude in a weak world. The modern world is drowning in weakness. Comfort, distraction, and endless comparison have made people fragile. But the Stoics saw weakness as a choice, not a destiny. Mental fortitude is built, like muscle, through deliberate practice. In a society that glorifies ease, choosing the Stoic path makes you rare. It makes you powerful. It sets you apart. 1. Comfort is killing you. The Stoics were not against comfort itself. They enjoyed food, warmth, and friendship. But they knew that attachment to comfort makes you soft. When you rely on comfort, discomfort destroys you. Epictetus taught his students to practice voluntary hardship, to sleep on the floor, to go without luxuries, to eat coarse bread, not because it was necessary, but because it was training. He said, practice then from the start to say to every harsh impression, you are just an impression and not at all what you appear to be. Imagine deliberately fasting for a day, not because you must, but because you choose to. Imagine walking in the cold without complaint. These are not punishments. They are reminders. You are stronger than your cravings, stronger than your body's whining. 2. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It is a spark. Discipline is the fire that endures. The Stoics knew this. They didn't rely on feeling like it. They built routines rooted in principle. Marcus Aurelius told himself every morning, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. Notice that he didn't wait for inspiration. He commanded himself to rise. He anchored his discipline to purpose. Modern weakness says, "I'll do it when I feel ready." Stoicism says, "Do it, and you will become ready." 3. Control the inner citadel. The Stoics often spoke of the inner citadel. It is the fortress within you, the mind untouched by external storms. Your wealth can vanish. Your friends can betray you. Your health can fail. But if you guard your mind, no force on earth can enslave you. Epictetus was born a slave. His body was not his own. But his mind was free. He declared, "You may chain my leg, but not even Zeus himself can conquer my free will." Building your inner citadel means learning to control your interpretations. Nothing is inherently good or bad. It is your judgment that labels it so. A traffic jam, an insult, a rejection, they are neutral until you assign meaning. If you assign weakness, you suffer. If you assign strength, you grow. 4. The art of negative visualization. The Stoics practiced a powerful technique called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning they imagined loss of health, loss of fortune, even loss of life. Why? Not to be morbid, but to be prepared, to appreciate what they had while they had it, and to train their hearts not to break when reality struck. Seneca advised, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Try this. Imagine losing the things you take for granted. Your phone, your car, your job, even your loved ones. When you open your eyes to reality, you stop clinging. You live more fully. And when life does take something, you do not collapse. 5. Rejection as a teacher. The weak crumble at rejection. The Stoic transforms rejection into strength. Rejection, like pain, is information. It tells you, adjust your path, sharpen your skills, expand your vision. But it never means you are worthless. Marcus Aurelius was rejected by friends, generals, even family. Yet he wrote, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." You must separate the event, rejection, from the interpretation, "I am not enough." The first is neutral. The second is poison. You choose whether to drink it. 6. Stop comparing, start creating. Comparison is slavery. In Rome, men envied the purple robes of senators, the estates of the wealthy, the applause of the crowd. Today, people envy Instagram lifestyles, cars, bodies, and houses. But the Stoic asks, does this bring virtue? Does this make me wise, just, courageous, or disciplined? If not, then it is irrelevant. Your role is not to outshine others, it is to outgrow yourself. Compete not with their illusion, but with your yesterday. Build daily. Create your own standard. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Stop performing for the crowd. Build for yourself. 7. Endurance. The mark of the strong. The Stoics believe that greatness is not shown in moments of ease, but in prolonged struggle. Anyone can smile when life is easy. Few can persist when it is not. Marcus Aurelius endured plague, betrayal, and endless war. Yet he wrote daily about gratitude, patience, and perspective. Why? Because endurance is strength refined. Endurance means holding steady when insulted, standing tall when betrayed, continuing forward when exhausted. It is the daily decision. I will not quit. 8. Living with urgency. Time is slipping away. Seneca reminded us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. The Stoics viewed every day as borrowed. They trained to live fully, not tomorrow, but today. Ask yourself, if today were your last, would you waste it scrolling, envying, complaining? Or would you rise, act, and live as the person you were meant to be? Urgency doesn't mean rushing. It means valuing. Every heartbeat matters. Do not spend them on things unworthy of your soul. A Stoic reminder, midpoint call to action. If these lessons strike something inside you, if you feel the fire of Stoicism lighting up within, remember this. Growth requires repetition. Discipline requires reminders. So pause right here. Take a breath. And if this message resonates, don't just absorb it, privately spread it. Like, follow, and subscribe to Stoic Corner. Share this philosophy with others. Because the stronger we all grow, the less fragile the world becomes. 9. Mastery of speech and silence. The Stoics valued speech, but they valued silence even more. Words can inflame, mislead, or enslave. Silence strengthens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But when Stoics spoke, they spoke with precision. Every word was weighed. Every phrase aimed at truth. If you wish to be strong, train your tongue. Say less, mean more. 10. Daily reflection. The evening practice. The Stoics closed their day with reflection. Seneca described reviewing his entire day each night. Where he succeeded, where he failed, where he must improve tomorrow. This practice builds mastery. It prevents blind repetition of mistakes. It forces growth. Try it tonight. Before sleep, ask, did I live according to virtue? Did I master my impulses? Did I act with courage and justice? Then rest. Tomorrow, begin again. Mental fortitude is not an accident. It is not a gift from the gods. It is built choice by choice, practice by practice. To live stoically is to renounce weakness, to reject slavery to comfort, to train yourself in hardship, endurance, reflection, and action. You will not become unbreakable overnight, but with daily practice you will grow harder to knock down, quicker to rise, and stronger in every storm. This is Stoicism in practice. Cut comfort, build discipline, guard the mind, embrace hardship, live urgently. The weak will complain, the strong will train. Which one will you be? If these lessons strike something inside you, if you feel the fire of Stoicism lighting up within, remember this: growth requires repetition. Discipline requires reminders, so pause right here. Take a breath. And if this message resonates, don't just absorb it, privately spread it. Like, follow, and subscribe to Stoic Corner. Share this philosophy with others. Because the stronger we all grow, the less fragile the world becomes. 9. Mastery of speech and silence. The Stoics valued speech, but they valued silence even more. Words can inflame, mislead, or enslave. Silence strengthens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But when Stoics spoke, they spoke with precision. Every word was weighed. Every phrase aimed at truth. If you wish to be strong, train your tongue. Say less, mean more. 10. Daily reflection. The evening practice. The Stoics closed their day with reflection. Seneca described reviewing his entire day each night, where he succeeded, where he failed, where he must improve tomorrow. This practice builds mastery. It prevents blind repetition of mistakes. It forces growth. Try it tonight. Before sleep, ask, did I live according to virtue? Did I master my impulses? Did I act with courage and justice? Then rest. Tomorrow, begin again. Mental fortitude is not an accident. It is not a gift from the gods. It is built choice by choice, practice by practice. To live stoically is to renounce weakness, to reject slavery to comfort, to train yourself in hardship, endurance, reflection, and action. You will not become unbreakable overnight, but with daily practice you will grow harder to knock down, quicker to rise, and stronger in every storm. This is Stoicism in practice. Cut comfort, build discipline, guard the mind, embrace hardship, live urgently. The weak will complain, the strong will train. Which one will you be? Stoic resilience, turning struggle and rejection into power. Life will break you. Not once, not twice, but again and again. The question is not if, it is when. But here's the deeper Stoic truth. Being broken is not the end. It is the beginning. Every rejection, every failure, every betrayal, these are not barriers. They are raw material. Clay for you to mold into strength. Iron for you to forge into character. 1. Rejection as a furnace. Most people see rejection as an insult, a wound to their worth. The Stoic sees it as fire, And what does fire do? It burns away weakness. Seneca once said, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." When you are rejected, you are being tested. Not to prove you are worthless, but to prove how much more you can become. You thought that door was the only door, but the Stoic laughs. There are infinite doors, infinite paths, and each rejection forces you to search deeper, work harder, and rise stronger. 2. The 2 reactions to struggle. When life cuts deep, there are only 2 ways to respond. Collapse. Blame others, complain, retreat into self-pity. This is the path of the weak. Conquer. Stand firm, endure the pain, and turn it into energy. This is the Stoic path. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal from his closest allies. Civil wars threatened to tear his empire apart. Did he collapse? No. He wrote in his private journal, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." 3. Pain is information. Stoicism reframes pain as feedback. Pain says, "Here is where you must grow." When your body aches under the weight and training, that pain says, "Here is your limit. Push beyond it, and you expand." When life rejects you, it says, "Your skills, your mindset, your path, adjust them. Grow." The weak flee from pain. The Stoic listens to it, studies it, and uses it as instruction. 4. Amor fati, love of fate. The highest Stoic resilience is not just to endure fate, but to love it. Amor fati, love of one's fate, was the practice of embracing everything that happens, even hardship, as necessary and good. Imagine this. The storm destroys your ship. The average man curses. The Stoic whispers, "Good. Now I will learn to swim." This is not naive optimism. This is supreme strength. The belief that whatever life throws at you can be fuel. Fortune cannot defeat the man who loves every blow she delivers. 5. Desperation is fuel. When you hit rock bottom, you are faced with a choice. Let desperation break you or let it fuel you. Desperation sharpens the mind. It strips away illusion. When you have nothing left, you see what is essential. You see what must be done. Epictetus, once beaten and enslaved, turned desperation into philosophy. He could have drowned in self-pity. Instead, he built wisdom that still guides us today. Do not fear desperation. Channel it. Let it light a fire that mediocrity cannot extinguish. 6. The Stoic strategy of endurance. Resilience is not stubbornness. It is intelligent endurance. The Stoics practiced 3 strategies. Anticipation. Expect difficulty. The man who expects betrayal cannot be broken by it. Acceptance. Refuse to fight reality. What is, is. Use it. Adaptation. Change your response. If the path is blocked, find another. This threefold practice keeps you unbreakable. You bend, but you do not snap. 7. Build scars, not excuses. Scars are proof you have lived. Proof you have faced fire and survived. Excuses are proof you ran from the fire and never grew. Every scar, emotional, physical, spiritual, is a medal of resilience. The Stoic does not hide them. He displays them as evidence. I endured, I learned, I rose. Stop chasing a life without scars. Chase a life worthy of them. 8. The prison of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of loss. This is the true prison. The Stoic escapes it not by eliminating fear, but by acting despite it. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most fears are shadows, not substance. The rejection you dread is lighter than you think. The failure you avoid is not fatal. Once faced, they lose their teeth. Courage is not absence of fear. Courage is mastery of it. 9. The discipline of daily rising. Resilience is not built in one grand gesture. It is built in the daily rising. You rise after small rejections. You rise after small failures. You rise when laziness tempts you. You rise when despair whispers to quit. Every rise is a brick. Daily you build the fortress of resilience. One day nothing can knock you down, because you've trained yourself to rise without hesitation. 10. Midpoint Stoic reminder. Call to action. Brother, if this message of Stoic resilience speaks to you, do not let it end here. The ancient wisdom lives only if it is practiced and spread. So pause for a moment, reflect, then take action. Like this video, subscribe to Stoic Corner, and share it with someone who is struggling. Help them rise. Help them endure. Because we grow strongest not in isolation, but in brotherhood. 11. The Stoic view of death. Why fear rejection when death itself is certain? Why fear failure when time erases all memory? The Stoics meditated on death daily, not to live in sadness, but to live in urgency. Memento Mori, remember that you must die. When you embrace death, rejection shrinks. Struggle becomes lighter. You see clearly. Every obstacle is temporary, every pain fleeting. But how you respond, that echoes forever. 12. From victim to victor, the weak cry, "Why me?" The Stoic asks, "Why not me?" Hardship is not proof of injustice. It is proof of life. Every human suffers. The question is, will you waste it as a victim, or will you wield it as a victor? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Rejection becomes redirection. Struggle becomes strength. Pain becomes wisdom. Resilience is not waiting for life to get easier. It is training yourself to get harder. It is the unshakable decision to rise no matter how many times you fall. So remember, rejection is fire, step into it. Pain is information, listen to it. Desperation is fuel, burn with it. Fear is illusion, face it. Death is certain, live fully. Fall, rise, repeat, until no storm can shake you, no rejection can weaken you, and no fate can defeat you. This is the way of the Stoic. This is resilience. The Stoic legacy: mastery, purpose, and living beyond yourself. Resilience, courage, and discipline. These are the pillars of the Stoic path. But there is one more layer. The highest calling, to live not just for yourself, but for something greater. True Stoic mastery is self-mastery, and true self-mastery leads to legacy. 1. The Stoic definition of success. The world says success is wealth, status, applause. The Stoic laughs at this. For what is applause but air? What is wealth but dust? Epictetus, once a slave, was freer than many emperors. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, lived with more humility than most beggars. Success to the Stoic is simple: to live in accordance with virtue. Virtue, courage, wisdom, justice, temperance is the only wealth that cannot be stolen. Lose money, lose power, lose reputation, you remain rich if you remain virtuous. 2. Self-mastery over world mastery. The weak try to rule the world, but cannot rule themselves. The Stoic flips the order. Master yourself first, and the world bows naturally. Marcus Aurelius commanded armies, but his greatest battle was within his own mind against anger, pride, and despair. Ask yourself, can you control your impulses? Can you master your anger? Can you rise above your cravings? If not, then you are still a slave, no matter how powerful you look. The Stoic seeks sovereignty not over others, but over himself. 3. Service over ego. Legacy is not about being remembered. It is about serving in your time, here and now. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations to publish a book. He wrote them as reminders to himself, in the service of becoming a better man, so he could better serve Rome. The Stoic asks, how can I be useful? Useful to my family, useful to my community, useful to the world. Your purpose is not found in self-indulgence, but in contribution. 4. Justice. The Stoic responsibility. The Stoics believed justice was not optional. It was the duty of every rational being. Seneca said, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Justice means living fairly, helping when you can, and refusing to exploit others. It means standing tall for truth, even when it costs you. A Stoic life without justice is not Stoic at all. For what is strength if it is not used to protect the weak? 5. Legacy of action, not words. Philosophy without action is theater. The Stoic legacy is built on deeds. Marcus Aurelius could have written endlessly about virtue. Instead, he embodied it as emperor, working tirelessly, sleeping little, leading with humility. Your legacy will not be your opinions. It will be your actions. Did you live with courage? Did you endure with patience? Did you give more than you took? Your children, your friends, your community, they will not remember your words. They will remember how you lived. 6. Midpoint Stoic reminder, call to action. Brother, if you followed this journey falling, rising, building discipline, embracing resilience, then this final lesson must not stay within you. Philosophy dies in silence. It lives only when shared. So if these teachings stir your soul, take a step. Like this video, subscribe to Stoic Corner, and share it with someone who needs it. You may change a life, and in doing so, you continue the Stoic legacy. 7. Death is the great equalizer. All legacies meet death. But Stoicism teaches, this is not defeat. This is liberation. Memento Mori, remember that you must die. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily reminders of death, not to sadden himself, but to live more urgently, more fully, more justly. Death levels kings and slaves alike. But the Stoic lives so that when death arrives, he can meet it with calm, saying, I have lived well. I have done my duty. I am ready. 8. Purpose in the face of mortality. Knowing life is short, the Stoic refuses to waste it. Every day is an opportunity to practice virtue. Every moment is a chance to serve. Ask yourself, if death took you tomorrow, what would remain? Complaints? Excuses? Or evidence of a life lived with courage and meaning? The Stoic chooses the latter. He builds a purpose so clear that even death cannot erase it. 9. The art of letting go. Mastery is not clinging. It is releasing. Release the need to control others. Release the need for recognition. Release the fear of failure. Release even the attachment to life itself. When you let go, you become untouchable. No insult can wound you, no loss can shatter you, no death can terrify you. You live free because you cling to nothing except virtue. 10. The unshakable soul. In the end, Stoicism builds an unshakable soul. A soul that stands firm in hardship, serves injustice, lives with urgency, faces death without fear. Such a soul leaves a legacy that outlasts statues, money, or fame. It leaves an invisible mark on everyone it touched. This is the Stoic victory, not to conquer the world, but to conquer yourself, and in doing so, to lift the world around you. The Stoic path is not easy, but it is simple. Accept what you cannot control. Master what you can. Live with virtue. Serve with courage. And when death comes, greet it as a friend. Your life is your philosophy. Write it not in words, but in actions. Build not excuses, but a legacy. And remember, discipline creates freedom. Endurance creates strength. Service creates meaning. Death creates urgency. Walk this path and you will live as few dare to live. Free, fearless, and unshakable. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.